Hey everyone, Love Sherpa here. And today we're going to be talking about heartbreak recovery, and we're giving you the ultimate guide to getting over a breakup. When it comes to breakups, it can feel like the end of the world. The pain and heartache can be overwhelming, and it can be hard to imagine ever feeling happy again. But the truth is, healing is possible, and you can move on from this difficult experience. Breaking up with someone can be a traumatic event, and it's important to give yourself time and space to grieve. It's okay to feel a range of emotions from sadness and anger to guilt and relief. It's important to acknowledge and accept these feelings rather than trying to suppress or ignore them. However, the healing process doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and the right approach. That's why we've created this guide to help you navigate the different stages of heartbreak recovery and provide you with the tools and strategies to help you move on. In this guide, you'll learn about the different stages of grief after a breakup and how to cope with the emotional fallout. We'll also discuss the importance of self-care and how to set boundaries with your ex to protect your emotional well-being. We'll provide tips on how to find new hobbies and interests and how to seek out support from friends, family, or a therapist. Most importantly, we'll remind you that the healing is possible and that you're worthy of love and happiness. With the right mindset and approach, you can come out of this difficult experience stronger and more resilient than ever before. So, whether you're just starting the healing process or you're well on your way, we hope this guide will provide you with the support and guidance you need to move forward. First up is to acknowledge and accept your feelings. One of the most important steps in the healing process is to acknowledge and accept the range of emotions you may be feeling after a breakup. It's normal to experience feelings of sadness, anger, guilt, and even relief. Allowing yourself to feel these emotions without judging or suppressing them will help you to process and move through them. It's important to understand that every person has their own unique way of coping with a breakup. Some people may find it easy to move on, while others may struggle with the emotional fallout for months or even years. It's important to give yourself time and space to grieve the end of the relationship. It's also important to remember that it's okay to feel a range of emotions. You may feel sadness, anger, guilt, and even relief all at the same time. It's important to allow yourself to feel these emotions rather than trying to suppress or ignore them. You may find that crying, yelling, or even writing in a journal can help you release these feelings and begin the healing process. It's also important to remember that it's okay to feel sad. It's a normal part of the healing process. But what you want to do is avoid the trap of self-blame. It's common to blame yourself for the end of the relationship, but remember that relationships are complex and often involve multiple factors. Try to avoid dwelling on thoughts of what you could have done differently and focus on moving forward. Next on our list is taking a break from social media. Social media makes it easy to keep tabs on your ex, but it can also prolong the healing process. It's best to take a break from social media for a while, or at least unfollow, unfriend, or block your ex. This will help you to focus on yourself and your own healing. Seeing your ex's posts, pictures, and updates can be a constant reminder of the relationship and can make it harder for you to move on. It's important to take a step back and give yourself some distance. If you're finding it hard to resist the urge to check your ex's profile, consider unfollowing, unfriending, or even blocking them. This will help to reduce the temptation to stalk their every move and allow you to focus on your own healing. One of the most important steps in the healing process is to acknowledge and accept the range of emotions you may be feeling after a breakup. Allowing yourself to feel these emotions without judging or suppressing them will help you to process and move through them. It's important to understand that every person has their own unique way of coping with a breakup. Some people may find it easy to move on, while others may struggle with the emotional fallout for months or even years. Number 3 on our list is practicing self-care. Self-care is crucial during the healing process. Make sure to take care of your physical and emotional well-being by getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This will help to boost your mood, energy levels, and overall well-being. After a breakup, it's easy to neglect your own needs and well-being. But it's important to remember that taking care of yourself is essential for healing and moving on. One of the most important aspects of self-care is getting enough sleep. Lack of sleep can affect your mood, energy levels, and ability to cope with stress. Make sure to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Eating well is also important. A healthy diet can help to boost your mood and energy levels. Try to eat a balanced diet with plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Avoid relying on junk food or alcohol to cope with your feelings. Exercising is also a great way to boost your mood and energy levels, as well as relieve stress. Even something as simple as a brisk walk or a yoga class can make a big difference. It's also important to engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This can be anything from reading a book, listening to music, or spending time with friends. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, make sure to make time for it in your schedule. Self-care also includes being mindful of your emotional well-being. It's important to be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself during this difficult time. Up next is seeking support. Going through a breakup can be a lonely experience, so it's important to seek out support from friends, family, or a therapist. Talking to someone who can listen and provide understanding and support can help you to process your feelings, gain perspective, and feel less alone. When you're going through a breakup, it's easy to feel like you're alone in your pain. But the truth is, many people have gone through the same thing, and seeking out support can help to make the healing process more bearable. One of the best ways to get support is by talking to friends or family members who you trust. They can provide a listening ear and offer words of encouragement and advice. They may also be able to relate to your situation, as they may have gone through a similar experience themselves. If you don't feel comfortable talking to friends or family, or if you feel like you need more support, consider reaching out to a therapist or counselor. They're trained professionals who can help you process your feelings, gain perspective, and develop coping strategies to help you move forward. It's also important to remember that support groups can also be a great resource. They can provide a safe space to talk about your feelings with people who are going through similar experiences. Up next, we've got reflecting on the relationship. Reflecting on the relationship can help you to understand what went wrong and what you can learn from the experience. Try to focus on the positive aspects of the relationship and what you learned about yourself, rather than dwelling on the negative. Reflecting on the relationship can be a difficult process, but it's an important step in the healing process. It can help you to understand what went wrong and what you can learn from the experience. Think about the things you enjoyed about the relationship and the things you learned about yourself because of the relationship. It's also important to reflect on any patterns or issues that may have contributed to the end of the relationship. For example, if communication was an issue, consider how you could improve your communication skills in future relationships. Up next is the importance of giving yourself time. Healing takes time, so be patient with yourself. Allow yourself the time and space to heal, and don't rush into a new relationship before you're ready. Remember, it's important to take things one day at a time and not to put pressure on yourself to move on too quickly. The healing process after a breakup takes time, and there's no set timeline for how long it should take. It's also important to remember that it's okay to still feel sad or miss your ex, even after some time has passed. These feelings are a normal part of the healing process, and it's important to allow yourself to feel them. Jumping into a new relationship too quickly can be a way to avoid dealing with the pain of the breakup, but can also prevent you from fully healing. Take the time to focus on yourself, and when you're ready, you'll naturally start to attract new people and opportunities. It's also important to avoid comparing yourself to others or feeling like you should be over it by a certain point. Everyone heals at their own pace, and it's important to be kind and compassionate towards yourself during this difficult time. Now, it's time to discover new hobbies and interests. Engaging in new hobbies and interests can help to keep your mind occupied and boost your mood. Try something new that you've always been interested in, or revive an old hobby that you used to enjoy. After a breakup, it can be easy to fall into a rut and feel like you have nothing to look forward to. Trying something new that you've always been interested in can be a great way to take your mind off the breakup and discover a new passion. This can be anything from learning a new language, taking up a new sport, or trying a new hobby like painting or photography. Reviving an old hobby that you used to enjoy can also be a great way to boost your mood and give you something to look forward to. This can be anything from playing an instrument, reading, or even playing video games. Participating in activities that bring you joy and pleasure can also boost your mood and energy levels and help you focus on something other than the breakup. It's also a great way to meet new people and expand your social circle. Moving on to probably one of the most important ones is setting boundaries with your ex. Setting boundaries with your ex can help to protect your emotional well-being and facilitate the healing process. This can include limiting contact with them, unfollowing them, or unfriending them on social media, or even blocking their phone number. After the breakup, it's common to want to stay in contact with your ex, but it's important to remember that maintaining contact can prolong the healing process and make it harder for you to move on. So one way to set a boundary is to limit the contact you have with your ex. This can include not reaching out to them, not responding to their messages, or even blocking them. It's important to remember that you don't owe them an explanation, and setting these boundaries is for your own well-being. Another way to set a boundary is to unfollow or unfriend them on social media. This can help to reduce the temptation to stalk their every move and allow you to focus on your own healing. But remember, setting boundaries doesn't mean cutting off all contact forever. It's about protecting your emotional well-being and creating space for yourself to heal. It's also important to be firm with yourself and stick to these boundaries, even if your ex tries to contact you or reach out. Now we're going to move on to reminding yourself that healing is possible. It can be hard to imagine ever feeling happy again after a breakup, but it's important to remind yourself that healing is possible and that you are worthy of love and happiness. It's easy to get caught up in the pain and heartache of a breakup and feel like you'll never be able to move on. But it's important to remind yourself that healing is possible and that you will come out of this experience stronger and more resilient than ever before. It can be helpful to remind yourself that you are not alone in your pain and that many people have gone through a similar experience. You are capable of healing and moving on, and you will come out of this experience stronger and more resilient. You deserve to be in a healthy and happy relationship, and with time and patience, you'll find it. It's also important to remind yourself that every day is a new day, and you will have good days and bad days. Last on the list is practicing forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and your ex is important for the healing process. Holding on to resentment and anger can prevent you from moving on and can harm your emotional well-being. Practicing forgiveness can be a difficult process, but it's an important step in the healing process after a breakup. Forgiving your ex doesn't mean you must forget what happened or that you must be friends with them. It means letting go of the resentment and anger that you may be holding on to and recognizing that the relationship has ended. It also means not to hold yourself responsible for the end of the relationship. It's important to understand that relationships are complex and often involve multiple factors. Forgiving yourself is also important. It means letting go of any guilt or shame you may be feeling and recognizing that you did the best you could in the relationship. It also means not to blame yourself for the end of the relationship and understand that everyone makes mistakes and it's important to learn from them. And that just about wraps it up. But remember, healing after a breakup takes time and patience, but with the right mindset and approach, it's possible. We hope that the tips and strategies we've discussed in this video have been helpful to you in your healing journey. Remember to practice self-care, seek support, reflect on the relationship, give yourself time, find new hobbies and interests, set boundaries with your ex, remind yourself that healing is possible, and practice forgiveness. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. We would also love to hear from you in the comment section below, so please feel free to share your own tips and experiences on how you have recovered from a heartbreak. Thanks for watching, and we wish you all the best in your healing journey.